Hey, this old man goes to the wizard to ask if he can remove the curse he's been living for the past 40 years. The wizard says, maybe, but you'll have to tell me the exact words that were used to put that curse on you. Well, the old man said without hesitation, I now pronounce you man and wife. Ready to go, okay. Now we got tea for two. My dad was a coal miner and he couldn't afford a 50-cent tap lesson either. So when I was 50, my children gave me tap lessons. And I went to Mary Selhorn and she said, get in the back line, Martha. So I got in the back line. And then she told me when I could come forward. And they started getting invitations to dance a lot of places. And so I danced with them for 11 years, and then I had my knees replaced, and the doctor said no more tapping. So I've been doing the announcing for 21 years now. So I'm still part of it. I feel good about it. Hey, thank you, ladies. Great. Good job. Good job. My grandma, she came from Belgium, and she was always out there working and doing something for others all the time. And I thought, I'd like to follow in her footsteps. And I was at church one day, and this lady was in the kitchen. I was working in the kitchen with her, and I asked her what she'd been doing. And she said, I'm volunteering now at hospice. And I said, I've always wanted to do that. And she put her foot down, and she said, you do it right now. So I did. The next day I called and got into the training class for volunteers, and it went from there.
She wanted to go into the homes and serve face-to-face with patients that were in their homes.
I would sit with a patient while the caregiver, got a chance to get away. They need a chance to get out and do something that they want to do, and I'm just happy to be there for them.
I just remember a house that she went into, and the woman had shelves and shelves of knickknacks. And Martha offered to clean and to dust.
And I said, would you mind if I do this? Oh, she said, I'd love. So once a week, I would go out and I would clean one room, that particular room, And she even had a couch for her dog. I went over there one day, and she had came home with some real good news. And she said, oh, Martha, she says, I don't have to have that treatment like I was going to have. She said, I said, well, what would you like to do? Oh, she said, I'd like to go out and get a root beer. I said, okay. We're not allowed to take you out, but we won't tell anybody. So I took her out to the root beer stand. We got a root beer and came home. And then I felt real guilty, so I called my boss at hospice home. And she said, well, that's okay. That's all right. Don't do it again, though.
We were at a meeting here at Visiting Nurse and Hospice and talking about all the great volunteers that they had, and said, do you know someone? We'd like them to be Lutheran, and they need to be from Allen County. And Martha's name came up.
Our CEO was at one end of this building, and the name Martha Weber was coming out of her mouth. And I was at the other end of the building, and the name Martha Weber was coming out of my mouth.
The more I learned about Martha, I knew she was the perfect person for this award.
I didn't think I deserved it. I thought it belonged to somebody else. I couldn't believe it was really me. I wish my husband had been here to share it with me, because we'd been married 61 years before he passed. And I did a lot of crying about that. He wasn't here. And my kids said, yes, he is, Mom. He knows it. It didn't sink in for a long time. And I kept saying, it's not me, it's not me. And finally, my daughter, she said, Mom, please, if you didn't deserve it, you wouldn't have got it. So just, you got it. So, okay, I got it. Okay.